Hello, my name's Lauren Alexander, and we're talking about the metoo movement.
I'm Alexa Tang.
I'm Richie Zajic.
I'm Crystal Doan.
Rena Nguyen.
I'm Catherine Veloso.
So what I want to start off with is how lately with the Kavanaugh movement, how we watched that video in MCOT in our class right now with the Republican woman supporting Kavanaugh instead of another woman who came out and said that she was harassed. So I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on that.
I feel like women should be more involved with helping each other because this movement is aimed towards empowerment. And not only women, but men too should be involved because men in society are more in power. And even if they do not participate in like rape or harassment or anything, they still hold some responsibility because they're in that position of power.
Yeah, I agree. I really just can't fathom how a woman doesn't come to the help of another woman because of her political agenda. She believes that no matter what, the Republican side is right because that's what she believes, and she can't even come to help a fellow woman.
It doesn't help that the women are divided and the men are in charge. The men in charge are the ones that are oppressing them, and it's like, why would you fight amongst yourselves when you should be banding together and fighting for a good cause?
But then there's also that thing where women don't want to put themselves in that situation to get hurt. They're not, if I were to see someone on the streets getting sexually harassed by someone, I'm gonna look after myself, which is kind of messed up, but I'm not gonna put myself in that situation to get hurt.
Yeah, that kind of relates to the whole bystander issue, where it's almost just as bad to be there in that moment and not do anything about it than to be the one assuming that act.
Yeah, I think it's really important though, even for bystanders, that it's important with this movement that women stick together because it's really hard to come out and say you've been harassed or assaulted, and especially with Trump and everything, how he basically kind of puts down women and says that, their stories are just lies. So that's really upsetting for this movement especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the thing with rape and sexual harassment and stuff is it's really hard to prove that it happened because in most cases they're in an intimate relationship or partnership with another person or their attacker pretty much.
And most rape cases are from people that they know. It's not a lot of the time strangers. It's actually people that they know. So it's even scarier to come out because you're friends with that person. Why would they do that to you?
I think it's also because of how people react to when people come out and say what they've experienced in the past. A lot of people don't get a lot of positivity and support from people around them. They usually get shamed or I read somewhere once where it was 25% of the assaults that were reported to the police, only the 25% of that were resulted in arrests. So it's ridiculous.
There's also that thing where some people just say oh, just move on. Trump has always said that why bring up the past when you can move on and stuff, but mentally for a person that's been sexually harassed, that leaves an imprint, which is why this movement's so important, just because it encourages women to speak out about their personal experiences.
Terry Crews, I don't know if y'all know him, but he's this 6'3", 245-pound dude with muscle, and he was sexually assaulted by this Hollywood producer, and people wouldn't believe him, and they were victim blaming him. They're like, well, you're a big black dude, why don't you just defend yourself? But that's the whole point of the movement. You're not supposed to victim blame, you're supposed to support the victim.
Yeah, I think it's important for everyone to support each other, and also that even with this movement, it feels like men aren't as highlighted as much, and I think that we should do that more because, I feel like if men are a little highlighted because they are sexually assaulted and harassed, and that I guess they'd support the movement more.
Yeah, in all of history, men have been always talked about, but women are always pushed aside and not been able to talk about their experiences. So I think it's time for us to, us as women, talk about these issues.
Male in the room.
Oh yeah.
Well,
how do you
as
feel?
a male, from my perspective, I believe there needs to be a culture shift, not just from people that are adults already, just from as a child. You need to be raised to respect everyone, not just one sex, but just as a male, you need to be able to respect everybody and just, not victim blame, but just give everybody due process, listen to their story, don't just automatically assume that, that didn't actually happen to them.